Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Good to see you. Thank you for being here and for your practice. Thank you for your support. Like and subscribe. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. As always, links in the description. If you can do more, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. We all appreciate you for making this resource more widely available. All right. Bodhisattva Kashyapa. He says to Shakyamuni Buddha, O world-honored one, if it is the case that nirvana, Buddha nature, definiteness, and the Tathagata field are one and the same, why do we say three refuges? Right? Well, you and I know. Nichiren talked about this. They're just different aspects of the same thing. For the same reason that he just got through listing all these different labels, these different words, about the same thing, right? Emancipation, nirvana, liberation. All of these words. Well, always, Shakyamuni spent 50 or more years of his life teaching this one thing. Yeah, there are a lot of words. That's, I don't know if we can call it a fallacy, but it's certainly problematic. Our languages, right? All languages have many things in common, but all different ways at arriving at the same attempt, right? In fact, I'll give you another example. You hear me talk about language being a fallible thing and influenced by biases, whether intentional or not. Think about science for a moment. Language only goes so far in chemistry, in biology, in physics. At some point, we begin to rely on numeric equations to define things, right? Like Avogadro's number, the Planck constants, so on and so forth. And even those are approximation. Even at the minutia that they consider stuff. And it's not at all an exaggeration to say that that's a simple difference between samsara and Buddhahood. Because Buddhahood is an immediate experience of what is or ising, right? Life is a verb. What is being expressed. There is never a static thing in any of that. An observation experienced of an expression of potential, moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. How do you define that with words? Even what I just said is going to be interpreted by each and every one of you in your own experiential way. Hopefully, being of this age, this latter age of the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, we have nuanced enough language that I can approximate the meaning. Well, ultimately, once again, we're left to our own devices. Buddhahood is your state of realization, yes? Your state of observing the flow of quintillions of energies dancing along through their trajectories, expressing some facet of potential. So, the question, if it is the case that nirvana, Buddha nature, definiteness, and Tathagata field are all one and the same, why do we say three refuges? Indeed, why do we say anything? In fact, the truth is that Buddha nature, nirvana, the infinite, definiteness, and Tathagata field all have individual subtle differences. Some of those subtle differences are really huge, but they all represent the same thing. And there's a subtlety of language that gets lost constantly, yeah? So the three refuges, right? People get confused about that all the time. Or more to the point, the three bodies of Buddha. First of all, start from Buddhism is about the mind. Where's the body in the mind? The body of the mind is a collective, isn't it? And it's not this. Although because it requires this and yours and hers and theirs to emerge a sentience, a sentient mind, you could say that this belongs to the sentient mind rather than the sentient mind belonging to this. There's a materialistic versus energetic understanding of the universe, yes, of life. So what does Shakyamuni say to Kashyapa? All beings fear birth and death, even though we're experiencing birth constantly, right? But we fear the big birth and death. Why is it big? Because we've made it meaningful, because we crave and cling to it. It's nothing special. It's the process of life. All right. So they take refuge in the three refuges. By the three refuges, we mean the Buddha nature, our potential enlightenment, yes? Definiteness and nirvana. Now, I haven't heard definiteness used so much. So this author is using the word, not sure what he means by that. And I'm not sure if I'm comfortable using the word because it implies a sort of permanence, doesn't it? But if it's used to define, if you will, momentum, the modus operandi of the energy, the engine of life. Okay, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not comfortable with it. I may change it if I find exactly what the meaning is supposed to be, and I'll pick a better word. Oh, good man, there are cases in which the name, Dharma, is one, but the meaning differs. Here we go. There are cases in which the names of Dharma and the meanings are both different. We say that the name is one, but the meaning differs. This refers to the situation where we say that Shakyamuni Buddha, or Buddha, let me correct that, that Buddha is called enlightenment, Dharma is called no awakening, as in not born, the Sangha, harmony, and Nirvana, emancipation. Here we go. Space is called non-good and also not covered. There are cases in which the word and the signification both differ. O good man, the case of the three refuges is also like this. The word and the signification both differ. How can we say one? That is why I said to MahaPariNirvana, Shakyamuni's aunt, who raised him, O Gautami, do not make offerings to me, make them to the Sangha. If offerings are made to the Sangha, this amounts to offerings being made to the three refuges. Refuge is a concept, not a thing, right? So if you make an offering to Shakyamuni Buddha, the samsaric impression is that you're making an offering to a man, a person. Follow the law, not the person. Remember Nichiren? So he says to his aunt, make your donation, make your support amongst the collective of those who are working on the achievement of Buddha-ness. And so rather than, although it's still sticky, rather than an offering to the people of the Sangha, it's more easily abstracted that you're supporting the endeavor of the Sangha, which is enlightenment, yes? These are different aspects of the same thing, if you understand the meaning. MahaPariNirvana answered, saying, among the monks, there are no Buddhas and no Dharma. How can we say that offerings made to the Sangha constitute offerings made to the three refuges? I said, Shakyamuni Buddha says, if you do as I say, this will mean that you have made offerings to Shakyamuni Buddha. For the purpose of emancipation, offering is made to the Dharma. When all monks receive this, this is an offering made to the Sangha. O good man, at times Shakyamuni Buddha speaks about one thing and makes it refer to three. He speaks about the three and makes it one. All such things are what have to do with the world of all Buddhas. They are not what Sravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas can know or understand. Kashyapa said further, you, Shakyamuni Buddha, say that utmost quietude is nirvana. How can this be? Now, nirvana means relinquishing the body and intellect. If one relinquishes the body and intellect, who is it that can become rewarded with quietude? Shakyamuni Buddha said, O good man, as an example, there's a man here. He eats some food. After partaking of it, he feels sick, desires to go out and vomit. After vomiting, he comes back. A person who was with him asks, have you got rid of the trouble you had? You have come back here again. Such may be the case. The same applies to Shakyamuni Buddha. He fully segregates himself from the 3,000 realms of existence and eternally, or outside of time, gains nirvana, which is quietude and bliss. There can then be no more of the topsy-turvy inversions, no ending and no extinction. All feeling is done away with. This is the bliss of non-feeling. This non-feeling is eternal bliss. We can never say that the Tathagata feels bliss, right? Because it's just a potential. So utmost bliss is none but nirvana. Nirvana is true emancipation. True emancipation is the Tathagata field. In other words, while Kashyapa is still wanting to understand how one could experience quietude, he's missing the point. In quietude, there is no experience. There is no is in quietude. Kashyapa further said, are birthlessness and desirelessness emancipation? Shakyamuni, it is so, it is so. Good man, birthlessness and desirelessness are emancipation. Such emancipation is the Tathagata field. Kashyapa said further, you say that birthlessness and desirelessness are emancipation. Space, quiescent energy, too by its nature is birthlessness and desirelessness. It must be the Tathagata field. The nature of the Tathagata field must be emancipation. Emancipation from what? Samsara, the physical nama-rupa state of being observed by sentience, the ninth consciousness, that experience being dharma, the experiencer being a temporary manifestation, moment to moment to moment, of a multitude of energies representing the consciousnesses embodied in you and I, in you and me, sorry. Kashyapa said further, you say that birthlessness and desirelessness are emancipation. Space, it must be Tathagata field. The nature of the Tathagata field must be emancipation. Shakyamuni Buddha said to Kashyapa, O good man, it is not so. Why, O world one, is that not so? O good man, the Kalavinka and Jivaka birds have clear and wonderful voices. How can we compare their voices to those of the crow and magpie? What do you say to that? We cannot, O world-honored one. The voices of the crow and magpie cannot bear comparison. 100,000 and Wayne, a Chinese unit of number, times 1. Kashyapa said again, the voices of a Kalavinka and the other are wonderful. So is their body. O Buddha, how can we compare them to those of a crow and a magpie? This is little different from comparing a mustard seed to Mount Sumeru. The same is the case with Shakyamuni Buddha and space, or vacuum energy, right? The voice of the Kalavinka can well be compared to that of Shakyamuni Buddha, but the voices of the crow and magpie cannot bear comparison with that of Shakyamuni Buddha. Then Shakyamuni Buddha praised Kashyapa and said, well said, well said. O good man, you now grasp what is most difficult to understand. Shakyamuni Buddha, at times, as occasion requires, remember, expedient means or expedient devices, yes, takes the case of space and compares it to emancipation. Such emancipation is the Tathagata field. True emancipation, however, cannot bear comparison with man or the Pure Land, which is a saha, physical world or realm of name and form experience of. Once again, he's dissecting the same exact thing. And space itself, truth to tell, is not fit for such comparison. To teach beings, a comparison is sought with what cannot, in its true sense, serve the purpose. Now that emancipation is the Tathagata field, know that emancipation is the Tathagata field, the nature of the Buddha is this emancipation, or the experience of it, yes? Emancipation and the Buddha are not two. They are not different. Good man, and you've heard me say before, yes, you experienced Buddhahood. You've experienced it before you started practicing Buddhism. You just had no idea of what was really happening. You say you had a moment of clarity. Whether every moment of clarity is Buddhahood or not, that we can debate, but the state is always present. How you access it, how you understand it, and then how you are able to summon it for your life, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, that makes all the difference, yes? Emancipation and the Buddha are not two. They are not different. Oh, good man, we say non-comparable or non-comparable. We cannot take, for purposes of analogy, what cannot be compared when there is a connection. Then we can compare two things. Is as when it says in it is as is. It is as when it says in the sutras, for example, quote, the visage is as right set as that of the full moon. The white elephant is as fresh and clear as the snow of the Himalayas, end quote. Now, the full moon cannot be the same as a face, and the Himalayas and the white elephant cannot be equals. O good man, it is not possible to express emancipation by parables. Yet, in order to teach beings, parables are resorted to. Expedient means. Through parables, we realize the nature of things. Matters stand thus. Kashyapa said further, why is it that Shakyamuni Buddha resorts to two kinds of parables? My goodness, Kashyapa. Shakyamuni Buddha said, oh, good man, for example, there is a person who holds a sword in his hand and with an angry mind means to harm Shakyamuni Buddha. But Shakyamuni Buddha is glad and has no angry face. Can this man harm Shakyamuni Buddha and actualize the deadly error? No, says Kashyapa, world-honored one. Why not? Because the body of the Tathagata field cannot be destroyed. You see the slippery slope we're on here? Why not? Because it is not anything of the compounded carnal body. What there is dharmata, or dharma nature. The principle of dharmata is indestructible. How can this man hope to break the Buddha body? Because of his malevolence thought, this person falls into the Avicii hell. Thus, we can make use of the parables and come to know of wonderful Dharma. Then Shakyamuni Buddha praised Bodhisattva Kashyapa, saying, well said, well said. You already said what I wanted to say. Also, a good man, for example, a malevolent person means to harm his own mother. He lives in the fields and hides himself under the haystacks. His mother brings out food to him. Then the man entertains a malevolent thought, steps forward and sharpens his sword. His mother, seeing this, slips away and hides under the stack. The man thrusts his sword into the haystack from all sides. Having done so, he is glad and thinks that he has killed his mother. Then his mother comes out of the haystack and returns home. What does this imply? Does this man have to suffer in the Avicii hell or not? What do you think? O world-honored one, says Kashyapa, we cannot definitely say which one is the case. Why not? If we say that he has equaled, destined for himself, Avicii hell, in such a case, his mother's body would need to get hurt. Isn't it about attitude and intent? Sorry, interjecting my own. Oh well. But if it is not hurt, how can we say that the man has harmed her? It's not about harming her. It's about what he thinks. Yes, Buddhism is about the mind. If he is guiltless, how comes it that he entered the thought of having actually killed his mother, and how could he have been so glad? Okay. How can we say that he is guiltless? Indeed. Though he has not actually committed this deadly error, this is nothing other than a deadly error. From this we may know only through parables the true nature of things. Praising Kashyapa, Shakyamuni again says, well said, well said. O good man, for this reason I resort to many expedients and parables and explain emancipation. We could well employ innumerable asamkhayas of parables, yet parables cannot thoroughly explain everything. If occasion arises, we might resort to parables, or the occasion might not permit parables. Thus, emancipation has such virtues. If we explain nirvana and the Tathagata field have innumerable virtues. We speak of great MahaPariNirvana, or the Sutra, yes? Bodhisattva Kashyapa said to Shakyamuni Buddha, O world-honored one, I now know that there is no ending of things, referring to where the Buddha manifests. If the place is unending, the engine of life too must be unending. Shakyamuni Buddha said, well said, well said. You now protect wonderful Dharma indeed. Any good men or women who desire to cut off the bonds of illusion and all bonds should protect wonderful Dharma thus. Terrific. And this is how Chapter 7 comes to a close. Yay. Next, Chapter 8 on the four dependable ones. And I start with a little blurb here. We'll save that for next time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and playing along. This is kind of a short one today. But we finally came to the close of Chapter 7. Lots of meat in there, lots of things. One predominant theme, though, is this razor's edge of negotiating Samsara with Buddha. Yes? The conscious realization, moment to moment, of life as it is in momentum, moving along, careening, manifesting, remanifesting, as an opportunity to influence, intercede, and move oneself, one's mind, one's reality in the realms of name and form toward an enlightened being as exemplar, leader, teacher to others to live in this, how shall I say it, enlightened state, kind, compassionate, full immersion in each moment of life, rather than succumb to chasing the past or the future which don't exist at all. Certainly as an experience, right? We fool ourselves with thoughts, entertain ourselves in the lower consciousnesses with craving and clinging and collecting and possessing. But if we can step over that minute chasm between all of that samsaric activity and being, suddenly everything becomes clear, easy, unperturbed, indefatigable. There's a nice word. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Enjoy your practice. Savor it. Share this with someone. Watch this video together. Download some of the free charts and shortcuts and so forth on threefoldlotus.com. Develop your vocabulary of practice and enlightenment. And share it. Be the bodhisattva. Express your bodhisattva nature. And immediately experience Buddhahood. This is what my wish is for you. Please have a great remainder of your day. Chant Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Take care, my friends. Bye for now.